Alright, welcome back to the channel, Triple T Perspective. I'm out here going for a little ride on the Philodo. Little update. Look, she's still perfectly fine after her little crash. Coming to you from the GoPro today. The only thing that took a fall was the camera, and then I got a little scratch on my knee. Anyways, going out here for a little ride. Figured I'd do a little update. So yes, the bike's fine and I'm fine. The crazy thing about the 360 cameras is sometimes they make it look like you can make it, if you set it certain ways, you can make it look like you're going way faster than what you actually are. We were actually sitting still and just taking off. So, and I'd pulled up to the side waiting on her and waiting on my wife. And then when I went off the edge a little bit, I should have just ran into the tree branch, but the limbs were growed out. You see in that video, like a lot of spots, they were growed out over the trail. So there was a tree branch right up in front of me. I know you can't really see it, it's hard to see it in the video, but if I'd have stayed over, it would have whacked me. And it was a pretty good sized little branch, enough that it would have probably would have KO'd me pretty good. So in hindsight, I probably should have just locked it up and crashed into the branch, but I didn't. And the concrete was flat where I was at initially, and then whenever I went to go back up, I noticed the transition. That's why I started to stick my foot out, because I knew, and I didn't have enough space to hit it at the right angle to jump up over that lip. And I couldn't go over to the left and then come back at it because the tree branches were coming out right ahead of me. They were all sticking out in the trail. So that's why I did what I did. But I knew as soon as I seen the lip growing that I knew it was gonna wipe me out. So the main thing I was worried about was the 360, which was out here, but I couldn't. I was gonna grab it, but I couldn't. It took the beating. It didn't crack the lens, but it put two big gashes in it, two pretty good spots, and I actually buffed them out. Because those lenses are pretty thick on those 360s, and I actually buffed it out. But when I buffed out the one and got down to the very last bit that was left, I turned the camera on and I noticed that there was a hairline crack, and I'm sure that was from the, you know, me buffing it out and it being weak. So there was no saving that lens. So those 360 X4, they don't have them. They don't have the lenses in stock. The OEM ones, they don't have them. So Insta 360 doesn't have any. You can't order them. And the ones that are on Amazon, they don't work. They work, but they're not as clear, because I changed it out. I've already changed out the lens, and you can see the transition between the two lenses in the middle, and it just doesn't look good. I don't want to film with it. So I figured out that, you know, I have the extended warranty apparently, which does cover damaged lenses, but the only downfall is you have to send it into them So I pulled out the because I reached out to them and the rep said that's not their vendor, I guess. And I'm like, yeah, no joke, like no shit, Sherlock, because I can't find it. And he said just take it out, send it with no lens, and just tell them that it got broke and you removed it, and that you know what the deal is. So that is what I'm doing. So I'm here to tell you it's probably going to be GoPro video for a while. I've gotten really used to that 360. I like it so much better. So much easier to use. I like being able to have the video quality of anywhere around me. I've gotten a lot of videos that I wouldn't have never got with the 360 unless I had multiple ones set up. And that's just a pain in the butt. I don't want to run 2 cameras trying to keep up with them. I just don't want to do it. Not when I can run one and do the same thing. So I guess we'll see how long it takes, but the bike itself held up just fine. Of course, it didn't really knock, it hit real hard. Yeah, now, man, if I've been going 20 or 30 miles an hour, this would be a different video. But I'm not going 20 or 30 miles an hour riding next to the edge of the trail, you know. So but that's why, you know, I always say, if you see that dog that come out out of nowhere chasing us. Now, had that dog come out right there and, you know, come in another couple feet and actually run into me or something, yeah, that could have been a different story. You know, it would have been painful. But that's why I always say you gotta watch them dogs. How you doing? So, just a little update. I'll come out here to go riding, and figured I'd give y'all a little update on what to expect on the channel as far as videos. I wish they would have. I don't understand. I don't know if any of y'all have seen the X5 camera or actually use the cameras, but the way they designed the X4, you have to take the thing completely apart to get the lenses out, and which is a dumb design. They have little shields that go over them, but most people don't use them. They just, you turn them and they lock into place, and it's better than the previous cameras, but it distorts the view. That's why nobody uses those. It distorts the view and it makes it not as good. You can put them on and take them off and you can notice a huge difference in quality. So, but the new X5, there's a little suction cup tool they made, and you put it on there and it just twists the lens out. You don't have to do all that. They're simple. And they're simple to change, and they're only like 29 bucks for a new lens for the X5. And buying the aftermarket's different. You know, there's a huge difference in the quality. They're just not as good. You need the OEM ones. So had they done that with these, it'd been a lot simpler. But I kind of feel like they don't have them on their website for a reason. A lot of people out. Sell them all. But I feel like they are unavailable because they want everybody to upgrade to the new X5. That camera's $500 and something. You're just getting outrageous. And I'll be honest, I'm not a super camera guru, but those 360s, those Insta 360 cameras, they're pretty damn good. Once you learn how to, you know, do your editing and stuff, there's a lot you can do with them. There's way better than the GoPros, way better for action video, but they're fragile. You know, cracked lenses, scratched lenses is very common. You have to be super protective, and I have been. The only thing I don't do is have the guard on them. So, but these guys are out here flying these kites again. See one right there, 3 or 4 of them in front of us. Maybe I'll be able to zoom in with them. I will say that's the only thing about the 360. Is it's hard to zoom in and have a good image. Yeah, these guys come out here every weekend, it seems like. I ain't been out here in a while, but every time I come out here, they're out here. They fly them way out there. Ain't like a kite when I was a kid, you know, 50 foot of string. These guys got 500 or 1,000 foot of string out. Heavy string. But I don't know if we'll get the Triple T together for one last ride before he heads off to college, but the days are numbered. I can count the days on my hand, less than 5. So maybe by the time y'all see this video, he may be gone. So I know we got a few fireworks left over from 4th of July, not much. I told him we need to go ride way out in the middle of nowhere and do our last hurrah and shoot them off. Whether we'll get to or not, we'll see. He's been very isolated the last week or so as far as spending time, you know, outside of late afternoons. He's been working out non-stop. There's a charger on the ground. Somebody threw some trash away. Threw it an old desk out, and there was a charging block in there. So that thing still got saran wrap on it. The wrapping. People just don't care. Anyways, we may get a short video in of him out riding. I want to get one in, so maybe we can get that in the next day or so. we'll see. And I don't have my mic, so y'all probably getting some wind. Hopefully the audio is good enough. But man, it's peaceful out here. Peaceful. It won't be when it's all houses. I won't be riding out here anymore. I'm sure that's within the near future. I have to find me a new spot. May just have to find a new spot to live. Get more out in the country again. But I mainly wanted to pop in and just, you know, get a riding video. That video ended kind of abruptly, but it wasn't due to the camera. It was the program I was using for editing those videos. It was just giving me fits, and I finally had enough of it, and I left it. I didn't want to mess with it. So that's why the sound didn't get uploaded or something, and I just left it because there wasn't much left on the video. But I know to some it may have seemed like, you know, everything was destroyed the way the video ended, but if you watch the short version, you can see me riding off with the camera because it broke. The deal, the selfie stick broke loose from the mount, so I was actually holding it, kind of checking it out, and not realizing at the time that it was damaged on one lens pretty good. I could have used it, you know, it just had a spot in the lens, but I don't want to. Might as well use a GoPro. So people out there fishing too. Let's go ride around the trail. I tried to talk to them people one time that got them kites. They were about an unfriendly group ass people, boy. So they build these houses. Bummer for them, they gotta go somewhere else. So, but yeah, when I wrecked, my wife, she just threw her bike down and came running. I'm like, damn, what'd you throw your bike down for? Scared the hell out of her. I guess she thought I was gonna be dead or something. It ain't the first time I wrecked the bike. I've had plenty of crashes. And motorized bikes and ATVs. Nice and quiet. Let's hear the locusts. Yeah, I noticed on that short somebody commented and said, yeah, around this circle here, and then I'm gonna head on back. So just got me a little 20 or 30 minute ride in this afternoon. I didn't ride much after we went to Farmersville. I had my little crash. It wasn't because I didn't want to, because I actually one afternoon I worked on that camera, didn't realize that I was going to need a OEM lens, and because that wasn't going to be good enough for me. I know I've seen some people leave reviews on those and say, hey, it leaves transition lines and this and that, but sometimes you can't believe the reviews. Either A, they don't put it in right, or they use the wrong one. But it definitely leaves a transition line. It's very noticeable. To me, I think it destroys the integrity of the video. Makes the video much more interesting if you don't see those. And then other than that, I was just busy. Didn't have time to get out and ride. And I had plenty of content from that one video to put out. So I got some other content. I just hadn't edited all of it, but we had talked about when we went to Kansas to take him to college that we were gonna take our bikes and ride one, you know, just go out there for a little bit, but we're not going to now. We're gonna take him up there and get him out and get him packed in his room, and then spend that day. And then we were gonna stay that night and be there the next day, but we decided I'm gonna turn right around late that afternoon. I'm just gonna drive through the night and head on back, so that way you know, he just settles in on his own. Doesn't have us there down, you know, at the hotel room or nothing to, you know. And plus he'll be with his new his roommate plays basketball too, so you know, they'll be getting to know each other, and he'll have a lot going on, and that'll keep his mind busy. Because I have no doubt it's going to be as tough on him as it is his mom. And you know, I mean, it's going to be something for me too, but I'm a pretty thick-skinned guy. I can take a lot, and you'd never know it. But you know, we're a pretty close family. You know, everything we do, everything we all do revolves around each other. So, to a certain extent, you know. So, it's gonna be an adjustment for him, you know. And I think some of that is, you know, I know he's working out a lot this last week, but you know, I think it's setting in that he's basically going to be down there on his own, you know. I think up until this point, you know, we've never missed an athletic game that he's ever played, whatever sport it was. Mostly basketball as he got older. So, but that's going to change. You know, we'll watch him on TV. And we'll definitely drop that link in here. Anybody likes some basketball, they can go watch. They can watch him. But they'll be broadcasted. You know, they have two different broadcasts that broadcast their games. So, but anyways, what I'm saying is it's, you know, it's gonna be an adjustment. We got a lot going on. Now once he's gone, if things settle down a little bit, I'm gonna have a lot of free time, you know, because a lot of my afternoons are spent either working with him or, you know, out at the gym or whatever. So I just make time to go ride, you know, at this point, whenever I can. But I think that's going to change a little bit. I'm going to find something to occupy my mind, and this is going to be it, you know. So you'll probably see more videos on the channel coming, you know, versus maybe like the averaging 2 videos, long form videos a week. You know, we may start putting out, you know, 3, maybe sometimes 4. And our channel's not far from being monetized, so spread the word. We'd really appreciate it. I know there's quite a few in here that are loyal followers. They've kind of mentioned, and they do the commenting, and so, you know, I try to keep our videos entertaining for, you know, those people. And, you know, I've asked for a lot of feedback, but I've never really received much feedback on the videos, you know, of styles of video, or, you know, what kind of camera angles. So, you know, I think most people just want to see the bike out riding and just see another person living life, kind of like I watch other people's channel. Just see what you're doing. Just know that there's more to life out there than your little circle, you know. There's a huge world of people out there that are either enjoying life or not. But this is the real world right here. This is it, you know. So like it, love it, or hate it, this is it. And I think a lot of people just don't, you know, they don't say it enough, you know. That's what I say. And when it comes to work or anything else, you know, I'll tell anybody, you can't ever buy any more. You can't ever buy any more time. You can't buy time, you know. If that job's taking all your time and you ain't got no time with your family, you know, you're just wasting your time. You're wasting your life away. I'd assume have nothing in replace of time with family, or just time with people that, you know, appreciate you and you appreciate them. Because life's short. You never know when it's going to end. Could end for anybody at any given time. So get out there and enjoy it, man. I just can't say that enough. Enjoy it. Spend time, because you can't make new memories. That's what I've really tried to focus on this last year with my son, you know. And that was the whole purpose of the e-bikes, you know. The e-bike story goes back to me and him sitting there watching YouTube, and I watched a little bit of the e-bikes, and I've always been an outdoors person. I don't watch movies because I can't sit still for 30 minutes. And let me go check this out. Wall. But the e-bike story was, I said, hey, you know, he seen me watching some of the videos and, you know, kind of doing a little talking a little bit. I said, what about, would you ride? Think you'd like to do this? And he just kind of shook his head and smiled, you know, like, yeah. I was like, I mean, I'm serious. Thinking about getting us some e-bikes, and, you know, it's something we can do to just get away from basketball, get away from everything else, you know, because there's more to life than You know, he come up and everything's just, it's all, he eats, breathes, and sleeps, eats, everything, basketball. You know, and that's good. You know, he got a passion for something. He wants to be a coach. That's what he's going to school for. But, you know, I'm like, you need an outlet, you know. And I'll tell you what, man, this was the best, I think, investment, because, you know, I seen a change in him after we got the bikes for, you know, that first 2 months. Just a different person. It brought out a different joy that I'd never seen. And, you know, that's, you know, that's our whole goal as parents, and is to bring joy and bring the best out in our kids. And that's you know, that's a memory I'll never forget. Get emotional here, because to me that's what's important. And I don't care about none of the other stuff. I used to. You know, I've chased the dollar. You know, I've chased it to where I was working all the dang time, you know. I've made the big money, and I've been poor. So I didn't come from money, and I ain't rich. But, you know, if I wanted to focus all my time on that, you know, I could be. But I don't care. So well, that's enough of, you know, me harping on that. It's starting to get dark, but I'm gonna head toward the house. And yeah, take it for what it's worth, man. If you're debating getting an e-bike, or, you know, if you got, you know, I wouldn't say little kids, because an e-bike really is not for them, but a bike, you know, something, whatever you choose it to be. I mean, get them away from those video games. So ain't nothing wrong with playing them a little bit, but, you know, if you can do something that y'all can do together, do it. Because you're only going to do it one time. And that's the last thing you want when you kids get older, is say, well, my dad never was there, or my mom never was there. That's for sure something my kids will never say. And if they do, they're full of shit. Well, I guess that's going to be a wrap on this one. I'm going to head back. I think we're going to do some packing. So we're going to do some packing. He got, you know, my wife, I don't know if she's got, I wouldn't say a massive following, but she's got a pretty good community following on social media, Facebook mostly. She's working on some other you know, her TikToks, and but she's got a big enough following that everything that he needed for his dorm, we made an Amazon list, and she posted that on her Facebook, and wow, I mean, I'm talking everything, all the way down to a freaking mini fridge. Everything we posted was bought, like 40 something items. So he has, I mean, everything, sheets, bags. So we're gonna make a little video. She's been wanting to do it for a month, and you know, trying to get him to do it, but we're gonna make a video, maybe just a picture, I'm not sure. Basically, and she's gonna, you know, just to put it up and reiterate to all her followers that how grateful she is, because a lot of them she's built friendships with, and but to have, you know, people in my eyes that are complete strangers to I wouldn't say complete strangers, because they follow her journey, they've followed his journey, because she's very active on social media and posts, you know, about him and his journey and everything. So the ones that she hasn't met in person, or that bought stuff, is just because you build a community, you know, through putting yourself out there, and I was just amazed that everything that was bought. I mean, that's quite a bit of stuff, you know, and you don't realize it when you're gonna send a kid off to college or something, how much, you know, regardless if you're paying for the school or not, or throwing scholarship, you got to get them there, and you got to buy them what they need, and that stuff's expensive. It adds up. So, but anyways, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make a little video, or we're gonna make a little video, or we're gonna do a picture, I'm not sure. So, but anyways, just want to jump on here and say we're all good, and we appreciate y'all ones that were concerned and asked, and appreciate y'all watching the channel. And like I said, you know, we're close to being monetized on YouTube, just like you know, like maybe 1,000 or so watch hours. Other than that, we've met all the criteria. Not looking to make, we're not going to make a bunch of money on it. Be lucky if we made $10, if we made that. It's just the fact of reaching that goal is pretty big in my eyes, because I never intended when I started this channel for that. So like I said, share the word, and you know, we appreciate y'all watching, and we'll catch y'all on the next one. So for Triple T Perspective, adios.